Maybe you're wondering, what do I need to create content? I'm going to show you the apps you need and the steps for you to create content and post it online. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is you want to make sure you have OBS installed on your computer. OBS is free, so there's different versions of OBS. There's Streamlabs OBS, there's OBS Live. If you're just starting, I would recommend you just using OBS, just a regular OBS. So go ahead and open up your web browser and search for OBS. It should be the first one that comes up here. Brings you right to the page. I'll leave a link on the description, but it should be pretty easy to find. Go ahead and download either for Windows or for Mac. Once you have this downloaded, go ahead and install it. Now, this video is not going to be to show you how to use OBS and all the features and everything like that. I'm just going to show you like a basic way to game capture. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to Settings, Output, and then you're going to click on Recording. Now, if you don't see these options here, just click on Output Mode and select Advanced. You can just copy the same settings that I have, but some of these features here will depend on the computer that you have. So look online. There should be some kind of video on YouTube that tells you specifically how to set up OBS and what each feature does, what each of these settings will do. The basic thing that you want to look at here now is just where where OBS is saving your gameplay. So whatever is going to record, this is going to be the file path. So select that, make sure you know where that is. And then here on audio, what I usually like to do is select 2 audio tracks. What this is going to do is allow you to control the volume from your mic and the volume from your gameplay separately on Adobe Premiere or whatever video editing that you're using, like whatever program that you're using to edit your videos. If you only select one here, what it's going to do is it's going to record your gameplay together with your gameplay audio and your microphone audio. It's going to put it all together in one file. So for example, maybe your mic's too loud and your gameplay is not loud enough. You can adjust that if you select 2 audio tracks. From here, go ahead and click video. You can go ahead and select 1080. Same thing. Look on YouTube. There should be some videos on properly how to set it up, but you can just copy the same settings that I have here. Click OK, and then we're gonna go here to Audio Mixer. Now here you're gonna have the desktop audio. So this is what it's gonna the audio for your desktop. This is where your gameplay is gonna the audio for your gameplay is gonna show up, and this is your microphone audio. So as you can see, my mic is coming through right there. If you don't see anything going on here, click on the little gear, go to Properties, and make sure that your microphone is properly selected here. Okay, click on the mic that you're using, and then you should see your microphone come up here. If you don't have a mic, you don't necessarily need a microphone to record like gameplay. I've done it for like in the beginning where, you know, maybe you're short on cash. You can record it right from your phone. You can use your cell phone. I definitely would recommend using that if maybe the microphone that you have is really crappy, or if you just don't have a mic. Definitely don't use the built-in mic for like a laptop or anything like that. If you can go in and buy a pretty good mic, and there's some good mics that are under $100 there, so you don't have to go and buy like a $100-$200 mic. But if you don't have the money to buy a mic, just use your phone. Once you're set up with this here, you can test, make sure your desktop audio is working. So you can just open up your game. So we're gonna open up our game here. Can we minimize this? Okay, so here's our game. So you can see now we have some audio coming in from the desktop. Anything that you open on your desktop will come up here. So if I open up YouTube right now and start watching a video, that audio from the YouTube on my Chrome is gonna show up here. So make sure you don't have anything playing on the background, any other tabs open to any other, you know, like YouTube or anything like that. Or make sure you don't have any like music video player or anything like that running. it will record whatever is on your desktop. From here, we're going to sources, and we're going to add a game capture. Okay, so let me delete this here. So you should see something similar to this when you open OBS. You're going to click on add. You're going to do game capture. You don't have to change this, but you can pick whatever name that you want. Click OK. Now here you're going to click and select capture specific window. Okay, what this is going to do is you're going to pick that specific window just for this game. I usually just recommend capture specific window, and then you're going to drop down here to this window tab and then just look for your game. So here's Fallout. Click on that and then click OK. So we see our gameplay here. Okay, let's click. So you see whatever is showing up on our game. OBS is recording. Well, it's not recording yet, but we're gonna get to that part. Now if you add your game capture and your screen is like this, you can just click on it and drag it over and make it full here. You can right click on there as well, go to transform, and then fit the screen. Okay, and then you really don't have to mess with this after that. So once you have this ready to go and set up, the last thing that you want to do is you're going to go to audio, you're going to right click, and you're going to go to advanced audio properties. Now this is important if you want to record two different audio files, like I mentioned to you before. Most likely when you open this, it should be something like this. Okay, what you want to do is you want to pick one track for your mic. So we'll put our mic on track 1. Okay, and we'll put the desktop on track 2. So you want to make sure, it doesn't matter which one goes where, but you want to make sure your mic is on one track and then your desktop is on another track, and that's going to record them separately so that we can control it later and edit the video, like the audio, how we want. And you don't have to mess with any of this other stuff here. This is pretty much the basic way to get OBS set up. The next thing that we're going to do is record. So once you have all this ready to go, we're going to click on start recording. Now you're going to see here at the bottom it's starting to record. You can go ahead and minimize this, get your game, bring up your game page, and just go ahead and record your game. Definitely would recommend making some kind of intro to your video, some kind of outro, just something like you know, just explaining like you see on most videos. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be playing Fallout Shelter, this and that kind of thing. And what I would recommend is while you're playing your game is look for some kind of how do I say, look for a good kind of scene to take a screenshot of your game, so we can use that for our cover art. Okay, for the cover of your video on YouTube. So for example, let's say that I wanted to use this as my cover art right here. Okay, if you're using Windows, you can just hit that Windows key and then the letter G, and it'll bring up the it's like a built-in kind of game capture thing, and you can actually take a screenshot right from here. You click on this and you take a screenshot. It'll take a screenshot from here. There's other ways to take screenshots as well from your video. You could usually just either pause your video, take a screenshot afterwards, but if you have the Windows, this comes in pretty handy. So we took the screenshot. Just make sure you can actually click here, click on your video, I mean on your screenshot. We can just open the folder where it's at. Okay, so here's the screenshot. What we're gonna do is, and then just drag it to like your desktop so you know where it is, and go ahead and do your video, record your video. Once you're done, so you're done recording, everything is good, you're gonna close your game. Okay, make sure you save, don't forget to save your game. Open up OBS, and then we're going to stop recording. Okay, so once we stop recording, it's done recording your game. Go ahead and close OBS. We're done with OBS for now, or we are done with OBS. We won't be using it anymore. And then what we're gonna do next is we're gonna open up Adobe Premiere. So go ahead and open up Adobe or whatever application you're using to edit. If you are using Adobe Premiere, then just follow along. If you're not, then just look up on YouTube on how to use whatever program that you're using to edit your video. We're gonna click here on new project. We can just pick whatever name, Fallout Shelter. You don't have to change any of these other settings. And then from here, we're going to the folder. So that folder that we saved or selected for our game capture, go to that folder, find your game capture. All right, so once you're on that folder, it should be this one here. We're gonna go ahead and just drag that into Adobe. We're gonna import it in here. Once you're on here, same thing with Adobe. This is not a video to show you how to use Adobe, but mainly like the basic things that you want to do to get your video, you know, looking pretty okay. Click on that file, drag it onto the timeline, and this is going to be your videos that you recorded. Okay, now this video is going to have 3 different parts. It's going to have your video, so this is actually the actual video, and it's going to have 2 audio files. So this is where that 2 track comes in. One of these tracks is going to be for your gameplay, and then the other one's going to be for your mic. So if we play this, one of them, and we mute one of them. So this audio here is for my mic, so I muted that, so you can see just the audio from the game is playing. And if I mute this and turn this one on, this is the audio. So there's the audio for just my mic. The good thing about doing this here is it allows you to control. So now we're here, we can actually go to audio clip mixer, and from here we can select we can, here's the controls for that. So we can then lower maybe the mic's too loud, or maybe the gameplay is too loud. We can lower that. We can raise the mic volume, and so this is why I like to have 2 audio tracks, is so you can control how the game sounds and make sure that your mic's not too loud or the gameplay is not too loud or anything like that. Now what you're gonna do is look for the parts that you want to remove from your clip. If you just want to do some basic like editing on here, so let's say you want to remove like a certain section, you'll click here. Let's say we want to remove like this little area right here, you click on that, the area that you want to remove, you can just click on it, delete, and then drag it over. So that's just like basic kind of like editing, like, you know, on Premiere. There's other things, there's tons of millions of other things that you can do here as well. So is Adobe Premiere worth paying for just so you can do basic editing? If the price is right, yes. If you're a student, there is like a discount for like all Adobe products, so definitely look into that. I think it's like $20 a month, and you get like all, for like the whole year, you get like all their products, but it's only for like 1 year. After that 1 year, then like it goes back to like the regular prices, and usually just Photoshop is around like $20 a month, so it's a good deal like if you're a student. And then from here, if you did record your audio on your cell phone, this is where you would look for that file on your computer, import it in here, drag it into the timeline, and then from here you can also control your audio from you would see, once you add that audio here, you'd see another little section come up here, and you can control the audio from that mic as well. And then you can, you know, take out the parts that you want, match that to the gameplay. So because it is going to be recorded separately, just match that, and then before you start editing anything, match that audio to the gameplay, and then you can start editing and taking parts out and that kind of thing. And you can add music as well, like a background music. Like this game, let's see, like this game doesn't, it has some background music, Let's turn this up. It has some background music, but you know, I see some people put maybe some background music on there. You don't have to. There is a lot of free stuff on YouTube, so let me show you where you can find some free music and even like sound effects. So you can open up YouTube. Here on YouTube, go ahead and click and go to your studio. On the bottom here, you're gonna see audio library. Okay, so click on that. Now this is the section of YouTube where it has all their free music that you can use, and this is truly like copyright free. So a lot of times you can search on YouTube, oh, free music, like no copyright music on YouTube, and most of it is like you use that on your video and then you get like a message, some kind of copyright message from YouTube. This music here truly is like free, so you can click here, you can like, you know, kind of just preview it. There's tons of actually good music here. A guy that makes some pretty good music on here. Let's see if I can remember his name. McDonald, I think. Yeah, this guy. He actually makes some pretty cool beats for YouTube, and he has like a lot of tracks here. So his audios are pretty cool, like background music, but there's tons of other different ones here that you can pick. But yeah, he's got a lot of them here. And then here you could also pick sound effects. So there's millions of different sound effects. Well, I don't say millions, but there's a lot of sound effects here that you can use for your video. Not that you need it for, you know, gameplay, but if you wanted to pick something. But that's where you can find like a lot of free stuff on YouTube. So let's go back to Adobe Premiere. So once you have this completed, it's edited perfectly however you want it. What you're gonna do then is and let me show you one more page before we continue. In this page, you can actually use this to create fonts. So we'll use this to create a font. For example, we can add a font here for something. All right, so what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to fontmeme.com, and this website actually gives you a lot of free fonts that you can create that are free. I'll link this page here on the description as well, and you can pretty much just go in here and pick like most of these fonts. Like here we go, we can actually go to Fallout. That's perfect. We go to Fallout, and we can just put in here like Fallout Shelter, and let's pick a color. So we'll do like yellow, because that's like a Fallout color kind of. And then we could do generate, and it's gonna generate, look at that, it's gonna generate a Fallout style font for you. I usually recommend putting 200 here, making this as big as possible. Okay, and then from here you're gonna right click, save image, and we're just gonna save it to our desktop. So go ahead and save that right there. And what we can do is we can actually do Fallout Shelter, and we'll do like, I don't know, gameplay or something. Same thing. Generate, we'll save that. All right, we'll go ahead and save that on to our desktop as well. You go ahead and close this. And even here, if you wanted to use this on Adobe Premiere, you can just find that font that we created. You can drag that in here, and you can drag this here into the timeline. We could actually use that font inside our video. And then from here you can kind of click on, we double click, oh no wait, we can click on this, make it smaller, move it around. If you want it to show up in the specific location of your video, you can. So it's a pretty cool little website, and kind of way that you can kind of edit a little bit, add things to your video. Once you're done with this, and you have everything where you want it, you can go ahead and click here, export. Oh wait, I'm sorry, click here, export, and we're going to export media. Now the settings here, what you want to pick, I usually go with H.264, and when you click on this drop down, it'll actually have option all the way down here that says YouTube 1080p. Click on that. If you're not, you know, this actually works really well even if you're not uploading to YouTube, but maybe you're uploading it to like Facebook. This works perfectly fine. Go ahead and pick a name for your file. We'll save this under desktop, and you can pick a name if you want. Save it. You don't have to change anything else here. Click export. All right, so once your video is done exporting, and you can go ahead and close Adobe. You can save if you want, and you should have your video here. So we can open it, check, make sure that it's working, and you're halfway somewhere here. We should see. Is this the right one that we export this? Yep, this is the right one. Yeah, somewhere in between here we should see that. Pretty sure I added that Fallout, or did I? Oh yeah, there it is. So there's that little Fallout font that we. There it goes. So next step, what we're gonna do is we're gonna upload it to YouTube. So go ahead and open up your YouTube. Go ahead and create, and then upload video. Select. We're gonna go to desktop or wherever you save that video. Click on the video, and it's going to start uploading your video to YouTube. From here, you can go ahead and pick a title. Definitely make sure it's an interesting title. That's what's gonna kind of bring people in, get somebody's attention. Game. We can just put Fallout Shelter gameplay. You can put like your name of your channel, something like that. You can definitely make it more interesting than this. On the description, I usually just have like link to, you know, like Discord or something else like that. I usually like to put like hashtag like the name of your channel, and then like whatever game you're playing, Fallout Shelter, something like that. On the bottom here, you're gonna see this is where you're gonna upload your thumbnail, like your cover picture for your video. We don't have that done yet, so we'll just leave this uploading. We'll minimize this, and then let's go ahead and open your Photoshop or whatever app that you're using. And for this, we're really not going to edit much from it. There's not much that we can do anyways. Go ahead and click create new. And actually what you can do here, here's the easier way to create a file, like create a new project. You're just gonna, once you have this page open here, what we want to do is click on the image that we're going to use, which is it this one or is it this one? Let me double check. No, it's this one here. So you can click on that image. You're going to drag it and just drag it onto Photoshop. It's going to automatically create the right size and everything that you need. From here, this actually took a screenshot of like this as well. So we'll just edit it a little bit. We'll transform, free transform, and we'll just make that a little bit bigger. And then you can obviously go to image, adjust. If you want to change the brightness, make it a little bit bright, add some contrast. Same with this, is not a Photoshop like tutorial, but there's, you know, maybe add a little bit more like color to it, even though this game is pretty colorful as it is, but maybe like make it pop a little bit. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the fonts that we created, just drag it right in here. We can maybe position it somewhere here. And then I usually like to put like a little border around so it makes it stand out So what we'll do is we'll click on that file, the font file, double click it, go to drop shadow, add that. We're gonna pick like black, for example, and then you can see how much that changes. It really brings out, so like if we preview it, you can see the difference that makes, and you can make it as big as you want, as much as you want. You move it around, so there's like different options that you can do here. But if you just want to kind of make it pop a little bit, give it a little shadow. I usually don't like that, but you can do it this way here. Something like that. Make it pop just a little bit. So you can kind of see the difference before, after. And we'll bring up the other one, drag it in here. And you could kind of just, you can make it smaller, bigger right from here as well. Something like that. Same thing with this one. Double click on here, click on drop shadow. And this, when you click on drop shadow, it should automatically input the same settings they used on this one. So you don't have to be guessing like how much did I use on the other one, how much size or spread. Click OK. Now when it comes to like lettering and words on your game like cover, I don't really recommend it that much. Sometimes you can. There's a lot of people that add, you know, there's tons of different ways to create a really good like cover art, because that's what's going to really get the person's attention. But when it comes to words and a lot of things like that, I don't recommend it unless it really needs. So that's why you want to get a photo, and I used to do that a lot. So if you look at my older videos, I used to have like a lot of, and I still do, like I think even some of my recent videos, like I don't do it as much anymore, but I used to put like a lot of words and things like that, but it makes it very busy. So I'd recommend, unless you really want to, you can do this. But once you're done here, file, we'll export it, and you can add different things here too. So you can add your logo if you want, whatever you want on here. Export, we'll export this out to, let's see here, export it to the desktop, save. Oh, we'll just do we'll save it to that name. And then once you're done here, go ahead and close Photoshop. And we should see that file here. So here's that file that we just created. Okay, this is what we're going to use for the YouTube like cover art. And we can also use this, and I definitely recommend using this one since you already spent some time putting it together, editing. Use that for like your Instagram, your Twitter, to like really get your you know, like your content out there, let people know that, hey, I got a new video, that kind of thing. And then we're gonna go back to YouTube. So this should be done uploading. We're going to add thumbnail, and then we're just gonna click on the one that we created. Now if you get this message here, files bigger than 2 megabytes, they have specific like sizes that you have to have your file. If you run into this, you can actually edit this before you save, but if you forget to, you can just like click on here. You can open it with like paint or something, and usually just make it smaller. If you go here to resize, just to make it like 50% smaller, save it under that same name, and then we go back here. It should allow us to use that. It just made it smaller. So or maybe it's still not small enough. Let's see. This file is, yeah, it should be small enough. Why is YouTube not letting me use it? Let's see. We're gonna save as. We'll create a different name for it, I guess. We'll just put like game or something. Okay. Go here, reopen that. Click on the one that says game. Okay, there it is. Yeah, I guess I was saving under the same name as the other one. Once you have this ready, so this is gonna be your cover art for your game. And go ahead and just select these other settings here. Don't really recommend messing with any of this. I would definitely make sure it says no, it's not made for kids. The whole COPPA thing. Anyways, click next. This section here, you can add an end screen. End screen is when your video, if you're ever watching a video and it's about to end, you start to see all these other pop-ups come up with links to like other videos and stuff like that. This is what this is. But for this video, we're not really gonna go into that. Click next. And then you could either publish it now or you can set it to a private and that kind of thing. I would leave it under public and then select schedule. Unless you want to upload it now, I would pick, you know, like tomorrow or something. Pick a day, make sure you pick the time, whatever, 1 o'clock, and you can set as premiere. Premiere will actually make it like a little premiere of your video. You can sit there, if you have like people that follow you, you can sit there and chat with them. The first time the video runs on your channel, you can watch it together with your viewers. It's actually pretty cool. You can sit there and chat. It has like a live chat, and you can kind of like sit there and chat with your followers. I usually don't do this. Click schedule, and then that's pretty much it. So your video is scheduled to go up tomorrow at that time, and that's it. Pretty much. You don't need a lot of fancy things to create your video. You don't need to use Adobe Photoshop. You don't need to use Adobe Premiere. This is just the programs that I use. But if you have them, definitely make sure you use them. They're really good products. But OBS is free, and then just whatever game that you're running, make sure that you have either a good mic or like use your phone. If you're gonna use your phone, make sure you're in a quiet place. Make sure that you don't have like the AC running or something, and record it on your phone. You know, send it to you like your email, or like you can do Google Drive or something, and then export it into your computer. Import it into your computer and then send it over to like Adobe or something. That's one way that you can record your audio for like your mic without actually having a mic, and it does work. I used that before, and before I actually had like a real mic. So, but there's a lot of free like cheap mics out there that you can use. But that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions, leave a comment. I'm gonna leave the links to all the pages, to the font page and then OBS on the description. And if you like the video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.